find actually models his game similar to Draymond. A very high energy player who we've seen in the playoffs really shown out in that role player position. But he went above a role player, which is why he finds himself at 21. We have Jerami Grant.
Yeah, I mean, Jerami Grant, I believe he's a guy you had higher on your list than me. You had him inside your top 20. I
I
had
did.
him actually outside my top 25, which is why he falls. Sorry about that, but for myself personally, it's just a matter of really rebounding. Like for a guy with his size, with his athleticism, with the effort he puts in, I don't understand how you only have 3 rebounds per game. Like he's a great 3-point shooter. Like I assume he's strong for his position. He looks strong for his position. Like when he's out there. So I don't get why he just can't grab the ball off the rim. Where yes, I get it. Like I get that you have a great center out there out in Denver who's grabbing rebounds. Who also finished first on our center list. But again, it's not like you don't have the ability. It's not like the opportunity wasn't there for him to just grab the ball more than 3 times per game off the rim. So I hope in Detroit he improves that. He would definitely make my list if he does. That's just a huge knack for me. Again, I need to see him improve there.
Yeah, no, I definitely see where you're coming from, and he's only had 1 year ever over 3 rebounds per game. He averaged 1 year at 4 rebounds per game. That wasn't this year or the year before, back when he was still with OKC, I believe. For me, I had him high. I do put a lot of thought in the defensive versatility that he brings.
Mhm.
That hard energy, hard nosed player. To me, he's similar to that Draymond and PJ Tucker kind of role, except he's younger. I know he's not the youngest player, but he's younger. He's entering his prime. We're gonna see Griffin a little bit higher on this list today, but I personally think that everyone seems to think that Jeremy Grant's gonna be playing back up to Blake Griffin. I think Blake Griffin moves up to center for most games, and Jeremy Grant really gets an opportunity to shine. I For me, it might be a lot of recency bias just watching him in the playoffs, but that Denver team did not belong in any of those games, any of those series. And he just showed up every single game. He played hard on every player. He played a similar role to Bam Adebayo, minus the rebounds. I know the rebound is a sad number, which is why he wasn't any higher. But he's probably, as we're moving up this list, he's probably one of the best defensive power forwards that's rated so low. The only reason that he's not any higher, you're right, his rebounding and he still hasn't showed up that year where he puts up 50 and 20 points per game.
Yeah, and I mean, or he doesn't have the passing ability of guys like Bam or like Draymond, but
Oh
he's
yeah,
almost
no,
like a combination of, like you said, a Tucker and Green, where he's
yeah,
very versatile on the defensive end. But again, like Tucker's a really good rebounder too, and he's smaller than Jeremy Grant. Like, I just need Jeremy Grant to get aggressive down in the paint because I know he can, and I can definitely see too, like if at least a 15-point per game this year. Like you said too, I don't think you go out and you get all the guys you did of the bench that Jeremy Grant's the best, and you don't have him start because Detroit put a lot of money into their big men down low. So I think, like you said, maybe based on the year Griffin had last year, we'll talk about that later. You do put Jeremy Grant out on the floor because he is much more efficient. Even if he's not starting, he's going to play a lot of minutes. Another guy, again, shot 38% last year, which where you think about Jeremy Grant, you don't think of him as a good 3-point shooter. Very good 3-point shooter. So hopefully Jeremy Grant continues to improve too. Maybe he makes a spot next year in my top 25, probably will. And as long as he makes a spot on both of ours, he will improve because, as mentioned, he was 17 on your list, where a lot of people will probably maybe argue that he does belong.
he could go lower. If like I say, it all depends on if my recency bias I have of him, how well he played in the playoffs. We're gonna see how the bubble has affected a lot of people's rankings. The bubble definitely raised his. It put a lot of spotlight on Denver. I hadn't watched a lot of Denver games before. After watching him play, I realized how great of a defender he is, how great of an overall player he is. But if he improves in certain categories, he can definitely get a lot better. Because the next guy we have on this list over here at number 20 has improved